Thomas and Percy are good friends, but sometimes Percy teases Thomas about being friends. He doesn't like that at all. One evening he was dozing happily in the shed, but Percy wanted to talk. Thomas decided to say nothing and went to sleep instead. Next day, the Fat Controller arrived. I would like you to go to the harbor tonight to collect something rather unusual. Wait and see. Percy was moving trucks into a siding. Henry arrived with his goods train. The signalman switched the points and Percy waited on the siding until Henry cat steamed by. Then there was trouble. I'm for tea, Percy. Percy was speechless. He watched as the other engines went home to the shed. Night time came, and Percy began to feel very alone. It was only an hour, but Percy didn't realize this. Thomas was waiting for his mysterious load at the harbor. Suddenly, there it was. Workmen lifted the dragon onto Thomas' load loader and put lights all around it for protection. Then Thomas set off into the misty night. Percy was asleep in his sidings and had no idea that Thomas was approaching him. Next morning, the poisons were mended and Percy puffed back to the junction. Gordon was about to leave with the express. Gordon was in no mood for puzzles. I'm a busy engines. I don't have time for your games. Gordon snorted. You've been in the sun too long. Your door has cracked. When the other engines heard the news, they laughed too. But Percy soon found that he hadn't. And he explained about the carnival. Percy decided to tell Thomas the truth. In summertime, the Brownshine Station Masters enjoy a friendly competition for the best beautiful station on the island of Sodor. The engines love to help too. One evening, the Fat Controller came to the shed. I want Percy to collect some flower bushes from Lower Titmer Station. Percy chopped anxiously through the thickening fog. He doesn't like driving to the Midway at night. The line passes through a junction next to a spooky old quarry mine. Percy hoped the signal at the junction would be green. He didn't want to stop next to the mine, but the signal was red. He had to stop. Suddenly, he saw something. His driver hadn't seen the old chimney sink into the ground. The signal changed. Percy was so scared he steamed away as fast as he could. The next day, Percy was telling Donald and Douglas about the disappearing chimney. Percy didn't want to believe them, but he wasn't sure. The Fat Controller was waiting for Percy at Trial Station. I want you to collect some trucks from the abandoned mine. But he really didn't want to go there again. Percy hoped he wouldn't see anything else disappear. He slipped into the sidings and puffed up to the trucks. Suddenly, another building at the old mine sank into the ground. He was so scared he lurched forward and rammed the truck. He steamed away faster than before, all the way back to the Lower Titmer Station. Percy's driver told the Fat Controller what they had seen. Nonsense. The old engines are collapsing into the empty mine shaft, that's all. Of course you did. Garden gnomes. To decorate Lower Titmer Station. They're not scary. Garden gnomes bring good luck. And he ordered Percy to return immediately and get them. Percy was scared, but he knew he had to be responsible, so he carried on. He waited for something else spooky to happen, but it didn't, and the Fat Controller was right. The golden gnomes weren't scary at all. His driver and finally had to collect the gnomes, and Percy took them straight back to the Lower Titmer Station. Later that week, the station master thanked Percy. Percy was very proud. It was winter on the island of Sodor. the first basket began to roll in from the sea. Thomas, Annie, and Clara loved the quiet of Misty Valley, but Thomas must be careful of rocks that sometimes roll onto the track. Cyril the Frogman has a very important job. He puts detonators on the track to warn the engines when there's fog ahead. That night, at the sheds, the Fat Controller had something special to show the engines. It was very large and strange looking. What is it, sir? Whoa! That's loud! Thomas looked worried. The next day, Percy was cheerfully shuffling through Misty Valley when suddenly... Oh, Trippers! That foghorn is so loud it rattles my dome, and it doesn't even make my axles tinkle. The foghorn had been so loud that it made the hillside shake. No sooner was Percy out of sight when one frog fell, then another, and another. Before long, the track was blocked, and the foghorn was crushed. Not far away, Thomas was puffing happily right on time. And then before he could think of anything else, Toby and his coach Henrietta were chuffing along. Toby was looking forward to a well-earned drink at the next station when, and just around the next bend, with his axle still tinkling, Toby was very glad they did, otherwise they would crash into Thomas' wreck. Soon the tracks were cleared and Thomas was back on the rails. Well, they don't make my axles tinkle. Oh, Sparky! Splendid outfit, sir.